Hello to my Farmingdale family. It has been nearly 2 years to the day since the COVID pandemic caused us to shutter our doors, and what a grueling 2 years it has been. We have been trudging in uncharted waters, writing and rewriting the rulebook with the sole purpose of balancing our students' physical and emotional well-being. The changing rules that we were forced to contend with were often contradictory in nature. They were frustrating and cumbersome. There were far too many days when we as a community struggled, wondering when this nightmare would be over. For some of us, the pandemic left us forever changed. Some of us lost jobs. Some of us lost our homes. Some of us lost those that we loved the most. We would all agree that if we can go back and rewrite history, we would wish these last 2 years were different. But we can't. There is no going back. All we can do is to learn and grow the best we can as we forge ahead and build a new future together. This brings me to the reason for my message to you all. Today we start a new chapter in our history together. Today is the first day of what will be a better tomorrow. Today we heal and we rebuild ourselves stronger and more prepared for whatever future may lie in wait. Today, Farmingdale School District is proudly launching our Portrait of a Graduate initiative, a thoughtful and inclusive process where we will be activating all of our stakeholders in a conversation about our future together. The big question we are asking is simple. How do the current vision and current district programs and opportunities align with future aspirations? And when I say future aspirations, I am referring to a new community-based visioning process that begins now. This is much different than anything we've done before. This is not a strategic plan, which often has an end in mind, but instead quite the opposite. The Portrait of a Graduate process begins with a question and invites in a broad open dialogue around potential answers. Through this effort, we aim to define a new set of priorities, create transparency about what is expected of students both inside and outside of school walls, and how everyone has a role in pursuing the vision, and create system-wide alignment across 7 distinct conditions: curriculum, instruction, assessment, learning environments, hiring, student supports, and community partnerships. And lastly, this will better define the Farmingdale brand, and hopefully, and finally, answer the question of what is a Daler. This process begins with the launch of our first of 2 conversations with our stakeholders. Our stakeholders represent a vast array of people connected to our schools. To name a few, stakeholders include students, parents, staff, community organizations, local businesses, local universities, and the military. Although all of these groups will be responding to the same questions, we will be carving out some of the groups to provide a more appropriate environment. For example, elementary students will only be communicating with other elementary students. Our middle schoolers will also be a unique group, as well as our high school students, who will only be communicating with other high school students. Conversation 1, which will kick off this week, will help us to get a pulse on the current beliefs and ideations. Simply put, what's working and what's not working. Conversation 2, which will begin in the month of May, will help us to build a cohesive understanding and collective expectations for all of our graduates. During the next several months, you'll be provided with multiple opportunities to take a lead role in these conversations. This is not a survey. These are open-ended questions where you can share your thoughts with others from around the community. You will also have the ability to rate the thoughts of others. By sharing your own thoughts and responding to the thoughts of others, you will be providing important data that we can use to build common threads between and among stakeholder groups. Upon entering the exchange, you will be asked to identify the option that best describes your role in the district. Knowing that some individuals may have multiple roles, for example, parent and guardian or staff member, we ask that you please choose the role through which you would most prefer your voice to be heard. We are establishing these discussion groups in order to enhance your experience and ensure that the conversation is as relevant to you as possible. Once the exchange is closed, we will share the results from the other groups so that you can see the different perspectives and priorities shared by other stakeholders. I wanted to share some quick tips for participating in this exchange. This exchange is confidential. Your thoughts will be shared, but not your identity. Please be polite and respectful as you share and rate thoughts. If you see a thought that is rude, hurtful, or identifies a person or group, you can report it by clicking in the upper right corner of the thought. Finally, there will be many thoughts, likely thousands, if not tens of thousands of thoughts. You do not need to rate all thoughts in this exchange. It is appreciated and recommended to rate around 30 over the time the exchange is open. I appreciate you taking the time to participate in this effort, and I ask that you please share this information and encourage others to contribute to this upcoming work. As superintendent, and also a community member who graduated from Farmingdale Schools and whose children are in our school system, my hope is that the portrait becomes a living document for the whole community, a starting point for our new future together. Farmingdale is and will always be home to us all. I look forward to the challenges of our future. I look forward to the process of working together to carve out our priorities, and I cannot wait to be a part of our new and amazing, brighter future in this amazing little corner of the world that we call home. Thank you, Farmingdale.